Hi dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me Anna with you here, and today we are on our lovely beach of Albir, but slightly further on so that you could see all the beautiful bay of Altea and the general how the beach of Albir changes when you go from here towards the area of Altea. And we are gathered here today, as they say, to discuss all the latest news, the situation update and everything what's going on here in Spain, because there's a lot to talk about. First, let's start with the situation. I cannot be happier seeing that the numbers are still decreasing as for the day of today. And for the last 24 hours, we've had 4,075 new cases confirmed, and the index is still continuing to decrease, and today it's 96.3 cases per every 100,000 people, and the index went down below 100 for the very first time since the end of June. Like for a really long time we've had quite a high index in here. We had tough times, as well as other different countries that are spread worldwide, but at least we are getting the situation a lot better than it was previously. And the other great news is that the positivity of the tests right now is 4.9%. So of all the tests done, that is 100%, only 4.9 are positive, are giving positive results. And the World Health Organization, WHO, they basically say that once you are below 5%, it means that the situation, the pandemics in your country is basically under control. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope for that, because it will be just definitely the best news ever. Seeing that we just desperately need things getting back to normal, and it kind of seems that it will be the case this autumn. Of course, a lot of things will depend on what's going to be happening once it will get cold, once it's going to start to rain, and the weather is not going to be as good as it is right now. So it's quite possible that people will gather inside of the places without mask, and then there will be some more cases going on. But as for now, everything seems kind of very positive. Also, there are only a few regions here in Spain that have like stricter restrictions and measures. The closure of some areas in Spain is only in some municipal areas in Extremadura. All the rest of Spain is open to circulate freely throughout all Spain, except these few areas. Also, in terms of Balearic Islands, they are the only ones right now who still did not open the nightlife. So the nightlife there is strictly closed in all the islands. So like in Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza and Formentera. All these, they don't have a nightlife open, but they do have some bars open up until like quite late time, although still with some restrictions. In terms of Valencian community, our lovely region, Valencian region, we are with the desescalade. We are heading full speed towards it, and at the end of September, approximately like 27th, probably we'll get to know the new second phase measures, because it's like two-part thing. First of all, right now, you know, they've opened nightlife, they've put some more working hours, like opening hours for bars, restaurants, cafeterias, etc. And they've allowed some more people to gather inside and on the terraces. So yeah, like the overall capacity. This was the first thing. The second thing plan is to open a lot more nightlife up until like the usual hour, like 6 a.m. more or less. So we'll see. And they also want to check about the international tourism. Spain wants to see whether to allow more international tourism or not. And we're also waiting for the Sputnik vaccine to be approved for the European Union and here in Spain, which would mean that a lot more people from third countries will be able to visit our country as tourists. Okay, a lot of like Latin American countries, like South America countries, they also have Sputnik in there, so they could not really come because, well, that vaccine is not approved here just yet. So yeah, I mean, we will see what's going to be happening, but as all things are right now, it kind of seems that this year might be a lot better than the previous one, which is for what we hope, like all of us, we hope so much that this year must be a lot better than the previous one, because it's been already enough of all the restrictions, of all the bad news. We need some good news and good vibes in here. So this is what's happening basically in all Spain and in our region. There are still a lot of people here right now on the beach. Later on I will show you like a short video after we finish the news. I will show you a few seconds of the beach that you will see how it is. There's still a lot of people, although the pattern has changed, as I've told you already. Right now there are basically couples or singles that don't have any kind of children, or their children are old enough already, because people with like children that have a school age, they're not here due to the beginning of the school year. So yeah, it's kind of different right now. And starting from the beginning of October, we will also have Imserso coming, which is basically a cheaper holidays, like basically for only like very small amount of a total price they pay to the agencies, and they travel for a week, for 2 weeks, sometimes even for a month here to our Valencian area, just to relax and spend a few weeks of autumn or winter here in a better like climate situation and better temperatures, mild towards warm temperatures. So this is what's happening. The other news that I wanted to let you know about is how difficult it is right now to get the property to buy something, especially for younger people. There's been a new statistics already, official statistics, and it's been put in some newspapers as well. And it says that every 3 out of 5 people under 35 years, which I include myself too because I'm still 29. It's so strange to say that I'm 29. Used to be 20 something and now I'm already 29. So like all these younger like people below 35, 3 of the 5, so it's slightly more than 50% only, can access the purchase of the property here in Spain. Will be very interesting to know, because I know you guys are looking like these videos, you're watching them from all different parts of the world. A lot of them are from UK, of course, but the other ones are like literally from everywhere. So it's very interesting to know how it is in your country. Like, is it popular for young people? Can they even purchase the property? Like, what conditions are, if it's easy, if it's not, and can they afford the prices that of the properties that you have in your country? Because here in Spain it's very difficult. The prices are quite high, of course, depending on the area where you live, but younger people, they tend to prefer bigger cities due to the fact that they can develop themselves a lot better, they can find a better job position, they have like more possibilities in life, so they prefer bigger areas with a lot of opportunities, let's call it like that. And here it's just extremely difficult because the properties cost quite a lot. And also, if you want to get like a mortgage, if you don't have obviously at that age like the money to pay the whole house at once, what there is, like the conditions that we have, they are not very good. And even like older people that already have a fixed job position, that have some money earned, even for them sometimes the bank asks for some guarantee before they sign this contract, even though it seems that this person can actually afford it and can pay for it. So it's very difficult here. And also the prices for the properties, for the real estate, they've increased right now. And comparing from last year to this year, the square meter of a property has rised up by 32 euros. So it's quite a big amount, it's quite a big difference. This is why it's so difficult. And what do people want to purchase? Of those who can do it, what do they look for here in Spain? I have here all the percentage. So basically what people value most when they search for their new home is the price that it has, obviously, the bedrooms and bathrooms, square meters, and what kind of services does this property have nearby, like shops, pharmacies, supermarkets, shopping centers, buses, metro station, and etc. So all these are like the key points what people look at when they buy a property. The other one that's summed up to these ones is the availability of a terrace. So if a house or a flat has a terrace, open air terrace, or a garden, if it's like a house, if it's a villa, or if it's like low floor apartment, they also tend to have quite spacious gardens here in Spain. So people value that the most right now. What they look less for, and that is very surprising because some of these things are very important for me, for example. What they look less at is if it has a swimming pool in the common areas. For me, like if I have a child, I know that she loves swimming pools. So if it's a villa, I don't really care because I can like put my own swimming pool in the future, or just buy like pre-made swimming pools, you know. But if it's a flat, like in a community area, it's quite important, at least for me, to have a swimming pool. The other things that they don't really look at is schools, like a school district, because here in Spain you basically can go to any school that you want, more or less. Okay, the situation here with schools is that if you go to a private school, you can choose any kind of private school if you want, even if it's like 300 kilometers from your house. If you know that you can go there, you don't mind traveling, you don't mind the time that it takes, you can go to any kind of private school that you want. In terms of public schools, it needs to be in the same like district. So for example, if we live like in Benidorm, it has to be in Benidorm. They're not going to take you to any other school that is like in Alicante or Alfaz del Pi or Albir, Altea and stuff like that. Okay, so it has to be like somewhere in Benidorm. If it's in Alicante, it has to be in Alicante. If you live in Altea, it has to be in Altea. If you live in Alfaz del Pi or Albir, that's all one municipal area, so it has to be like here. But you can choose by preference to which one you prefer to go first, second, third, fourth option and stuff like that. And then at the end, they basically say to you, if a first is not available, then they give you the second one, and like this. So basically, more or less, you can kind of choose the school that you want, but it's kind of surprising that people, well, it's surprising for me because I'm a young mom, but for a lot of other people, like here in Spain, usually Spanish, as it is like 100% Spanish, they don't tend to form a family until they're like 34, 35. So by then they like, the ones who can, they already have their own home, like their own bought house. This is why for them it's not really important because they don't have children at that age, like only a few of them do. So for them it's not important, but for me as a mom, this definitely would be a very important criteria if I would bring her to a public school. Also, a lot of people just don't care if the apartment has a storage space. We do not have storage spaces inside of apartments. Like for example, in USA, they do have like some storage spaces, even small ones. Here it's not the case, we don't have that. But like apartments in big buildings, they do have in a garage, they have some closed areas which are like storage spaces. So people just don't care about that. What they care is about square meters, about the price of the property, about the bedrooms and bathrooms, and basically the terrace or some kind of open air chill out area. That's basically it. And out of all people asked, 48% actually say that they are willing to buy a property because they see it as a long-term investment, and 40% approximately says that we want to buy a property because renting one is just a waste of time and money, and you're paying for something that's not even yours. So it's just like throw money away. So this is why a lot of people, especially young people, they want to do that. But of course, if the situation would be a lot easier, if banks would allow people to have like easier ways to get mortgages, or if the prices would be lower, of course a lot more people would have their own place right here in Spain. But it's not the case, at least as for now. These are all the news for today. In the next video, information video, probably that will be out tomorrow, I'm not too sure, but I will try my best. We will be talking about 10 best and amazing places to visit here in Alicante area. This video will be for those who love traveling, who love to see new places, and who are coming to Benidorm, not only to stay on the beach, but want to explore slightly more. So I have already a list of 10 beautiful nature places to visit in our area. I think it will be interesting for a lot of you guys. And also we will be visiting these places physically in the nearest future. And now slightly about the weather. As you can see, there are some clouds right there behind me by the mountains, but the mountains are keeping them away from us. And here it's actually very sunny, very nice, very warm. There is already slightly colder breeze than it is in summertime, actual summer. So it's nice to stay here, and you can even be without a sun hat, although I have it here. There it is, but I'm not using it just because it's not necessary. This kind of weather will be here in our area for a few days, more or less. It's true that by Sunday and Monday, there's going to be some rain coming down towards our Mediterranean area. And it's going to be always also on the north part and northeast side and going slightly down, as you can see on the pictures. So by Monday, it's quite probable we will have some rain in here, but rain is also good. Like, I mean, if it rains a few days a year, that's also not something catastrophic for us. We can live with a few days of rain in a year. So this is what's going to be happening. In Balearic Islands, it's also going to be raining during this weekend. So if you come there, make sure you take some umbrella with you just in case. What about the temperatures? Well, temperatures are approximately the same as they were the previous days without no major changes. It's true that they will get slightly lower when the rain will be coming next Monday, Tuesday, more or less. But here it's the most stable weather. So here the temperatures, they are around 29 until 32 degrees, more or less right now, and they will remain stable. What I cannot say about the north part of Spain, there today it's going to be slightly colder. And slightly less than 20 degrees in some areas, and by Monday these temperatures will drop until 16 degrees maximum in some areas. So there the difference of the temperature is starting to be quite big and substantial. Today in Alicante area we expect 29 degrees, the same here in Benidorm, 29-30, in Barcelona 28, Granada 29, Malaga and Marbella 27, Sevilla 30, Madrid 26, Murcia 31, Balearic Islands 29, Canarian Islands between 27 to 28 more or less, and Valencia 29 degrees. The water temperature is still amazing. It's still 26.5 degrees. It's quite probable that it will lower itself down until like 25.5 or 26 by the time it will start raining here. But up until then, we have a few nice days when we can still swim in our lovely Mediterranean Sea and enjoy the day at the beach. These were all the news for today, my dears. I hope you enjoyed watching them, and I will see you tomorrow with a new interesting video as promised. Bye!